we've got good conditions for traveling today. We are initiating undocking sequence now. Locks are disengaged.
Launch sequence activated.
All right, looks like all systems are a go. We are ready for departure to Europa.
2 minutes.
Commander, can I get a status report, please?
There is a security breach.
I'm getting a code red in docking base 7. It appears we have a power surge in the propulsion laboratory.
Long-range communications appear to be out as well.
You're getting that too?
Be on the lookout for dark matter.
All right, I will look out for that right now.
Remote failure. Accessing.
Don't worry, we'll get your light source back soon.
Communication failure.
Commander, I'm getting an error. Do you copy?
Life systems failure.
Commander.
System malfunction.
Commander.
System malfunction.
Commander, do you copy?
System malfunction.
What are we doing here today? What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm going to be turning my office into a spaceship. This has always been a dream of mine. So if you are curious to see how I do that, then stick around to find out. My main inspiration was indeed my love for space. If you don't know, I am a space artist, and it's not something I share here often, which is why I was so excited to make this video today. But I did look to a couple of things to get some ideas for how to bring this to life. The first place I looked was the Galactic Star Cruiser, done by Disney, and unfortunately it is closed and I did not go. So I did look up some photos of the interiors of that ship because it was primarily white, because it's an Empire ship. So Empire, they tend to have like a much cleaner, sleeker look. I was talking about Star Wars, by the way, in case you didn't know. And my second inspiration was the Space Flight Operations Facility, better known as Mission Control at NASA. Actually, I'm gonna put Disney as number 3 on my list because everything space related they do is incredible. Like when I saw Space 220 for the first time, oh yeah, I ugly cried. So when I make over spaces, I like to imagine a character that would live in that space, and then I create that space around that character and how they would live. So in my head, my character living in this space would be a systems engineer. She would be an astronaut. She would be living on this ship and would have her own little station, her own little area where she could do all of her work, her computer setup for all of her data, her lab for growing plants. Moving forward, it was much easier for me to imagine what would go in this room to fit that backstory. This is just something I do, but I highly recommend, especially if you make themed rooms, to base your room around a character you create. Does anyone else do this, or is it just me? I don't know. I also visited Mission Control at NASA and I saw the whole setup they had, and oh my gosh, it's just exactly what I wanted and what I was imagining, with the blue LED signs and all of the coding on the different computers. So the vibe of Mission Control definitely fits the scenario I was already envisioning anyways, which is perfect. I forgot to take a video when I first moved in, so I have a photo of the room, and this is what it looked like after we moved in, which honestly, this is the worst video ever because it's disgusting. I swear I'm not a hoarder, although it kind of looks like it. Yeah, there was just no place for anything to go. So my first step in trying to make over this room was to get furniture to hold things and hide things, and these are things I need. These are all of my art supplies, canvases, and it's stuff I use all the time. And unfortunately, no, I can't get rid of it. I can't get rid of it. As for the rest of the room, that is a mixture of my partner's stuff and my stuff. So yeah, we have quite a few things combined. You know, two people living in one small space. This is what happens. So I got this very large white filing cabinet. To me, it doesn't really look like a filing cabinet, like your generic filing cabinet. It looks a lot nicer, and I thought it fit the futuristic theme and the all-white theme I was going for. Then we got a new desk for my partner, along with some other storage solutions as well, and an all-white, sleek appearance, because again, going for that spaceship vibe. Also, just having white in a small room makes it feel so much larger and so much cleaner. These cords, this is not pretty. I cannot stand cords. So I'm going to drill a hole back there and run all the cords and cables through it, so that way you don't see them and they're hidden, because this is ugly. Something else I did to hide all of the cables is I used one of the pieces of foam that came with this package, and I put it in front of all the cables and tucked it behind. And you can't even tell that there's a piece of foam there. It just looks a part of the desk. Today I'm attempting to make an LED sign. I want to kind of mimic I think it's called like a star chart. And this is something that I've seen in other sci-fi movies as well, and I think it looks so cool and it's very unique. I thought I would try to make one myself. I have this clear piece of acrylic that I got from a picture frame, and I just took it out of the frame, and it's not perfectly cut, but whatever. It's better than going out and buying a new one. I don't even know where you could get one, but yeah, I thought this would work really well. And then I was trying to figure out, okay, how am I gonna put this up flat against a wall with some LED strips on the bottom? And I'm trying to use things I already own. So this is what I came up with. I had this shelf that you attach to the bottom of your desk. I don't know if you've seen these. They're for like cables and stuff. You attach it to your desk here. And I was like, oh, I could put the acrylic in this, and then it holds it up, and then put the LED strips down below. So what I did was I unscrewed it, and I'm actually going to flip it this direction. And then I'm going to put this section, the shelf, behind my filing cabinet, and then the LED sign will just sit right on top. Let me just show you. It sounds so confusing trying to explain it. Okay, so this is already looking cool, but I think to make this look cleaner down here so you don't see the LED strips, I'm going to use the foam that I have, and I'm going to... Booty! I'm going to create like a border at the bottom of it, so that way the light is contained. Now it was time to create my star map, and I did that using this white chalk marker that I got from Hobby Lobby. Oh yeah, that looks good. Whoa, oh whoa. For this project, you just need to be creative, go around your place, see what items you can use that you can trace that look symmetrical, and come up with a fun idea. I also put some Star Wars writing at the top because I thought that looked cool. I do not remember what this says, but it says something. This looks so cool. It even looks cool just with like a dark background. Turned out so good. Moment of truth, because I've always wanted to make one of these. So I haven't looked at it yet. I'm gonna turn it on the camera. Okay. Whoa. Wow. That is cool. So I have been collecting foam for months now that I got with all of my furniture, and because the furniture was large, it just happens to be the perfect size for my main wall in this room. It's crazy all this worked out. I've been holding on to these for so long, hoping I would actually get to use them because they took up so much space and they actually work. So now it was time to head to Lowe's and get some paint. I got this paint kit for $12, definitely a good purchase. And I got a Valspar 4000 interior paint in white. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, I didn't have enough paint. So what I did to try to avoid going back to the store is I only painted in the sections that you would see on the wall, which is why I'm tracing around the foam. Yeah, this is going to be really fun to paint when I move. I also painted the caps of my hydroponic garden, which you will see me put up later. And then I just added the foam. I did plan on where I was putting the foam before I did this, and I displayed it on the walls for a couple of days to see if I liked it. I thought it was really cool to create a border around the door, because if you look at some interiors of sci-fi ships, they always have a border. I wanted to take a chance to introduce today's sponsor of the video, which is Yitahome. Yitahome has been working with me for months now, trying to help bring this room to life. And honestly, it would not look the same without their furniture items. Because this room is tiny, you see everything as soon as you walk in. It was very important that I had items that fit within the theme that I wanted, that had a sleek, futuristic appearance, that were all white with closed storage, and I also wanted a little bit of open storage to display some of my space decor. So luckily I was able to get some pieces from them that worked so well within the space and really brought it all together. I have a beautiful white filing cabinet that holds all of my art supplies. I have multiple closed storage cabinets on wheels. Like, look how convenient this is. When you live in a small place, put everything on wheels, it makes your life so much easier. And I also got a beautiful desk that had LED lighting, which gives that futuristic appeal. Lighting is so important when it comes to bringing a space to life at night, especially if you're placing it in a sci-fi setting. And it also has closed storage, which is incredible. Obviously, I have very specific items for my room makeover, but they do have a large array of items on their website, from outdoor furniture to indoor furniture to closed storage and open storage. If you want to check out all of the items I featured in my makeover, I will list everything below along with a discount code on a future purchase. Thank you so much to Yitahome for sponsoring today's video and helping make this room possible. Now, let's get back to the video. Another amazing piece that I got. So I got a chandelier recently, and this piece of foam came in the box. Guys, does this not look like a window? Okay, it kind of looks like a ship window on water, not in space. but I think it does the trick. It kind of gives like a cupola vibe, and I was wanting to do a window originally, but I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. But when I saw this piece of foam, I was like, holy crap, wait, this is a sign, because it could not get any more perfect than this. This is such an interesting piece of foam, and the fact it's already cut out round in the middle, I have to use it. I have to do something with it. Now granted, it does stick out like this, and it's not a perfect piece of foam, but we're using recycled materials. The foam isn't gonna be perfect. So this is going on the wall. Hopefully it works. I don't know. To make my window, all I did was use a tapestry that I had on hand. I cut out a piece of cardboard from a box, and I hot glued some LED lights onto the cardboard. I did unfortunately lose this footage, but it's very, very easy to do. Then I just glued the fabric onto the back of the box. I pulled it over, made sure it was taut, and I pinned it in place. Okay, so this is what the piece looks like. That's the back, lots of extra fabric. And when I turn it on, it looks like that. Yeah. At night, the tapestry will diffuse the light, but I think it's fine. I think it'll be fine. That's my little space window. Look at that. I'm just gonna nail this on the wall first because the foam has no way to hold this weight. It's pretty heavy. To put this to the wall, all I used were weather strip nails. I have been sitting here a while trying to figure out how the heck to put this on the wall because it's pretty heavy. So I tried alien tape, it doesn't stay. It's too far of a distance away from the wall because this sticks out pretty far. It's pretty thick. So unfortunately I can't put it flush against the wall. It's going to have some distance in order to stay, and I've been trying to figure out how am I gonna make that work. What I decided to do was get these giant screws, put them in the wall, leave them sticking out at a very far distance, so that way I could just push the foam onto it and it's gonna hold. This is genius. I only have one opportunity though to get this right, because once I put the holes in this and place it, if I redo it, I'm gonna have to move the entire thing. So this is really stressful. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to put it up, put my phone level on top, and push it on as quickly as possible. It worked. I've been sitting here for so long trying to figure out how to make it go on the wall, and now that I have the solution, it just seems easy. Like, yeah, how did I not think of that before? But at the time it felt really hard. But now that I have this in place and it's the focal point, I'm going to finish adding the foam around it. Okay, let's do it. Let me know what you think of this DIY. For the foam, I'm using alien tape to apply it to the wall. I also lost the footage painting this wall white and adding the foam on the left side. I know you saw me do it on the other wall, but this was an important wall. Luckily, I have photos so you can see what I did exactly, and it's easy. It's not like you missed too much. I also did take my photos into Procreate and change the color a bit to see if maybe I liked another option better, but in the end, I decided the all white looked best. Not only did I save the big pieces of foam, I also saved the small because I want to be able to add some buttons. And this is how I can do that. So let's get to adding the details, because this is the fun part. Okay. To add the details to my foam, I'm going to be using a couple of different items I found laying around. The first one is a USB drive. This USB drive leaves a great impression, and I want it on my foam. Okay, the next one is a washable marker. Doesn't have to be washable, just needs a cap like this, or you could use a straw. I think this is gonna work better. I'm going to make some little buttons with the cap. And last but not least, my favorite, my lightsaber. That was weird. Okay, sorry. I'm going to be making an impression with the handle right here, see? Yeah. Also, if you're wondering where this is from, it's from Imperial Sabers. I also have other items I'm using, but these are the main ones. Just get creative. Go around your house, look at different things, and think to yourself, what kind of impression would that make on foam? Easy. It's easy, guys. The fact that you can create control panels using foam like this is so cool. It was very fun to go through all of my things and see what I could use to do this. To paint my control panels, I just used acrylic paint and some Sharpies. I think I could have used Sharpies for the buttons entirely, but I didn't have all the colors I needed and I had paint, so I just stuck with painting everything, even though it did take me a lot longer to do it this way. I used a mixture of different colors here, from blue to green to red. Those were the main ones I wanted to stick to because, I mean, they're the most common on control panels. I was a little scared after I painted my control panels gray because it stuck out like a sore thumb on all of the white foam. It turned it from something realistic into something a bit more dated and Star Trek-y, and although some ships look like that, it wasn't what I was wanting. But I have to remember it's not real and I'm using recycled foam, so it's not going to be perfect anyways, and I decided to just go with it. That's all I could do. All I could do was go with it. And if I wanted those extra details, I just had to make it work. I definitely felt the only thing that was missing in the office was having buttons that light up, just to give it a little something extra, because right now, this without lights feels like a very low budget sci-fi ship. I wanted to make it look a bit more realistic. I think adding lights helps slightly. Don't judge me, come on now. So I just got my lights in for my buttons, and this is what I got. And there's a tab that you pull out, and then when you put it back in, it shuts off. And there are also batteries in here, so I could get more batteries for these if they die, which they will eventually, of course. Yeah, this is the best option. I was going to get some fiber optics, but it involved getting like a watch battery and it was a lot of work. That's what I'm saying. This already had the batteries with it. It just seemed more affordable and a better option. Not to mention, these bad guys, I think only cost me like $2 to $3 for 20 pieces, which is really affordable. Okay, I'm gonna try to finish up the foam. Wish me luck. This was the most difficult part of the process, was just digging out these holes in the foam. And then to secure the lights in place, all I did was hot glue them into the hole. I loved how this looked, but I didn't like how bright the LED was, so I painted the color of the button over top of it. Now it was time to add my control panels to the wall. next DIY was to make a hydroponic garden. Unfortunately, I lost all the footage creating this, so I'm going to try my best to explain what I did exactly. All I did was purchase a 10-foot, 1.5-inch piece of PVC pipe. I purchased 8 elbows and 2 caps. It cost me a total of $63 for the PVC pipe, around $30 for my plants, which I got from IKEA. I cut my PVC pipe in my apartment using a sawzall. And to make the holes, I used a hole saw. And then I used a metal file to remove any extra shavings. To secure it, all I did was buy some caps and screw those to the wall. Prior to coming up with this design, I did not take into consideration that the starting point and the end point would end on the same side. So once I put it together and I was going to put it up, I realized, oh my gosh, this isn't gonna hold. This isn't gonna hold, it's too much weight. An idea my dad came up with was to get some caps and put it on the back and just screw them to the back to mount it to the wall. But the thing is, these are too small. It's too far away from the wall. So what I decided to do instead is add an L bracket here for support, and I'll have to add another one here as well to even it out. I'll just end up painting the L bracket to cover it, and although it's not ideal and I would like it to be floating and perfect, we gotta make do with what we have. Digging this section right here, but I feel like this is plain. Do you want to say hi? Oh, don't look so scared. Dookie girl. So what I did to add more details was I painted on some geometric lines. This also gave me a really good opportunity to bring in more black. You see what I'm going for here? You get it? In the middle of this project, I ran out of black paint, so I just purchased some black paint from the 99-cent store. If you ever do stencils, I always recommend using a sponge instead of a paintbrush. It's much easier to get a more precise line if you use a sponge and don't use too much water. Now my lines weren't perfect when I removed the tape, just because I did not use frog tape, which is the best tape for doing stuff like this, but I did fix the lines and make them more precise with white paint after the fact. As for my window, you know, it's a rectangle. It's like a normal window. How do you make a window feel sci-fi? How do you make it feel like you're on a ship? My original plan was to put foam around the edges to make it look like an octagon. I did test this. I did not film it. It looked awful. And I realized it wasn't gonna work. So what I decided to do instead was I decided to paint some geometric shapes to give the illusion of the window kind of having shape to it that wouldn't be seen in a modern home. Now, paint is something that I touched up on before in previous videos, but I wanted to talk about it again because I have a really good example of it right here. And that is the difference between getting a matte finish, a satin finish, or a gloss finish. I've never had like an on-hand example, but I do right now. And something I wanted to say is for the blacks, if you want your blacks to look very dark, the darkest they could possibly be, then you want to get a matte black because it reflects no light. So this is a high gloss paint. This is a satin, and this is a matte, and this is a matte. So you can see the two blacks next to each other. This one looks much more black, and this one looks a little lighter, and that's just because of the light reflecting. They are the exact same color. So as I mentioned, if you're going for a darker color and you really want it to remain dark in all forms of light, Go Matt. I also decided I wanted to keep some of my blinds, not all of them, but just remove enough where I could see the window fully. But I kind of liked how the blinds looked, although they are dated. Yeah, they kind of fit in with that, you know, sci-fi theme. So for this wall over here, I decided I'm going to put up a giant mural of the universe, which is really exciting because I've had this for quite some time. My friend Dan gave this to me. It is this super high quality print of the night sky, which is so cool. I've never had anywhere to put it, and now I finally do. This space wall, are you kidding me? I love this. I look like I'm falling into space. Thank you to my friend Dan, who gave me this wonderful piece. I'm gonna send you this video. And even though this is a bit different up there, don't mind. Don't mind.
Yeah, I'm wrong, you're right. I didn't know the whole tables. I thought it was
Did
just
you
a
hear
piece
that?
of wood.
I'm right. He's
Yeah,
wrong.
I was definitely wrong. You can't do what I want.
Okay, I got some LEDs and I'm going to just light my table. And because I want to be able to reuse this in the future, because every time I buy these, if you stick it to something and you rip it off, it will just rip in half. I'm going to tape it with packaging tape that's clear on top of it because I move a lot, so I might not want this here in a couple of months. I knew if I wanted this room to feel like a spaceship, I needed to add LEDs. So I added them underneath my desk, my partner's desk, and all around the storage cabinets. I also got this light fixture, which was geometric and reminded me of the walls a bit, and it also matched the chairs I got later. I also got a white decal for my PlayStation because I had it on display and I wanted it to blend in better. This is the last piece of the puzzle right here. This is what I've been waiting for. Chairs. Okay, so this is what I got. Check out these chairs. Look how pretty. Oh my gosh. It looks so good. I love the back of it. I love the shape of it. The shape of this is perfect. Also, there's this chevron design going down the back. Also, the shape reminded me of Star Wars. When I saw this, I was like, I need this. This is going to make it work. That being said, that's why I chose these chairs. Over 4 months of working on this, we're finally doing the reveal. All right, let's get to it. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for sticking around, watching this video, watch me bring my vision to life. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you like space, if you're interested in space, I would love to be friends. My information for my Instagram is below. That's also where I create all of my space artwork. Let me know what your favorite part of this video was. What DIY was your favorite? Would you have a room like this? And I guess that's it. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.